first became a Christian when I was 15 years old. It happened when I was at school, and the secondary school that I went to in Gloucester had invited a local church who had a team over from Canada, a team of young people who came in and did dramas and all sorts of things in our school assembly, and a group of me and my friends were in the assembly and we just loved it. And what particularly we enjoyed about it, I think, was the fact that one of the young men in the assembly looked like Bruce Willis. So we all decided that we were going to go along to the church that night and see what he looked like. But we were also slightly intrigued as to what they were talking about and what their message was. Up until that point in time, I'd grown up in a family that was a good family, and we were just a normal family, really. And I was brought up with the idea that if you were a good person, that you went to heaven, and if you did good things and lived a good life, that's where you went. And if you were an evil person who went around killing and stealing, then you went to hell. And that's kind of where I came from. My parents had me christened as a baby, and that was also another thing that they said to me, that because I was christened, that kind of gets you into heaven. And up until that point in time, I'd never really sort of questioned God. And when I went to that church that night to see that group and to see the dramas and the message that they had, it was the first time in my life that I really understood what it was that God had done and what he'd done for me on the cross by dying for me, and that no matter how good I was as a person, no matter how well I lived my life, that wasn't going to be enough to get me into heaven. And I was told about Jesus' love and how he died for me on the cross to save me and to set me free and to forgive me. And just something inside of me, in my heart, just broke that night, and I knew that for the first time in my life that God was real, and that God had a plan and a purpose for my life. And I gave my life to him that night to live for him. And being a Christian isn't an easy life. At times it's hard, at sometimes it's easy and it's full of joy, but God is faithful throughout, and God loves us. What does the gospel mean to me? The gospel means that it's the good news of Jesus. That as a Christian I can be excited and I can be thankful at what Jesus did for me on the cross when he was killed and crucified, and he gave his life up so that I could be set free, so that I could be forgiven of my sin. The cross is just that foundation message to the Christian faith. But more importantly than that, it's not just about the cross, it's the fact that Jesus then rose again after 3 days. If he'd never risen again, then his message would have been a lie, and everything that he stood for would have been lies. But he said that he was going to rise again, and he did. And because of that, because of his power, because he was God as a man, his power sets people free, and his truth is very, very real. As for me now, I think that church is a really important place to be. I think it's a place where you meet alongside other Christians, and that you can grow in your faith together. And at Clearspring Church, which is the church that I attend in Gloucester, there's a real sort of community and family feel to it. We're there to support each other, we're there to have fun, we're there to learn together, and we're there to sort of share and do life with each other, and all with that common belief and that common faith that Jesus is who he said he is, and that he was God, and that he has forgiven us.